Crappie are often considered stillwater fish best suited to quiet natural lakes, but they also thrive in current-swept reservoirs. Up next, Fish Head host Jon Thelen and fellow guide Brent Kemnitz share a surefire pattern for catching overlooked slabs on impoundments across the Midwest.
There you go. Huh. What we're doing today is really cool. This is, ooh, there, I got one too. Oh, I missed mine. There's a little pile of fish right here. We're out on a reservoir. This isn't what you think that we're gonna show you here. We're not walleye fishing like most people think. We're chasing big crappies today. And I'll tell you what, crappies like that one that my friend Brent Kemnitz just grabbed, they are stacked up in reservoirs and they're kind of secret. Not many people know about
Not many people know about this. No.
When we're out doing our crappie stuff, usually we're sitting on natural lakes. We're sitting in situations where these fish are relating to weeds, or they're really an open water structure. They're in places that you've become so accustomed to fishing. Out here on these reservoirs though, it's a whole different deal. And what we're doing here today is a really neat pattern that I'm excited to show you, because this just flat out catches fish. And I got one on here too.
You got one too.
Yeah, huh? this is just neat. What we're doing here is we're fishing structure, but it's not the type of structure you would think we're fishing. We're fishing structure where these fish, ooh, look at this one. This is a giant.
Do we need a net on him?
No, I think I can lift him.
Yeah,
but
really
holy
nice
smokes,
crappie.
you know, wait till you see this fish. This is what you can do reservoir crappie fishing. Because here's the thing, these fish are untouched.
They're untouched.
I don't see anybody else out doing that. And that fish right there is an easy 15 inches.
Yep.
I mean, look at the size of the mouth on that. There's bass you'll catch this summer with smaller mouths than that.
No doubt, they're
But
dandies.
Here's what's so cool about what we're doing. We're fishing structure. We're actually fishing a structure that goes vertical down in the water column. So as that thing goes down in the water column, these suspended fish, what they do is they actually use it as structure and they get up on it. And there's a whole bunch of reasons as to why they're there, but all said and done, it's just one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I mean, Brent, why are they there? Explain to everybody why they're there, because you're an expert at this. You're the one who told me about this.
Yeah, well, the thing is these pillars, they're structure not only for the crappies, but they're also structure for the bait. It's hiding places for the bait. We got a lot of shade here for the bait. You got shade for the crappies. Mm-hmm. They're loving it in there. And these pillars work great for ambush places for the crappies.
Right, you can hear the cars and trucks going overhead. Yeah. I mean, this is just a really neat pattern. And I'll tell you what, we're gonna get back down there and we're gonna get some more of these caught. But this is the kind of thing that you can do in so many places. Don't feel like, now, we're on the Missouri River today, but you can do this anywhere there are these long bridges.
Yes.
Because on any reservoir where they've got these bridges, there's one thing in common: deep water near these pillars. And that's gonna pull these crappies in. It pulls walleyes in too. We're just targeting the crappies that are higher in the water column today. But they're easy to fish. I mean, I'm just poking around here and we're just vertical jigging. And I'll tell you what, we started with floats. But what we realized is these crappies are kind of spread out throughout the water column. So what we're doing is jigging and we're just dropping down and working our way up. And that was a great double to start the day.
Effective, yeah, awesome. There's one.
Get them?
I got one.
Yeah, it looks like a crop too.
This is a crappie.
You switch over to that walleye rod and it just don't look as tough, does it?
It doesn't. But it's got so much more sensitivity, this super line does.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Man, I gotta tell you, this is just a ball. What we're doing is just a ball. Look at that fish. That is just so cool.
That is a nice Hawaii crappie right there.
It's awesome.
And you can see we're using the bigger baits and it seems like it's really working for the bigger fish.
Right, and that's what I was gonna mention. You know, with that fuzzy grub he had hanging in his mouth, I'm gonna show you here because we're using the same thing. We're even using the same color today. I mean, we're dialed in on this. These crappies are looking for this pink and and white. But this is an 1/8 ounce fuzzy grub. And here's the thing about the fuzzy grub. The fuzzy grub's been around forever. It's won walleye tournaments. It's caught walleye after walleye. It's caught pike. It's caught white bass. And it catches crappies. And the really neat thing about this jig is you can fish it with live bait, but because you still have the hair on it, every time you move that jig down in the water, that hair's poofing. So you barely got to move it a lot of the time, and it's giving off color and a little bit of extra flash and whatever it may be with that hair that makes a game fish like a crappie feel like he needs to come and eat it. And like Brent said, we're fishing a big, large bait. Look at the profile of that bait. That is a large bait, but that's why those fish are big.
That's right.
What they're eating.
Those aren't crappie minnows. Those are big fatheads.
It's real simple. You come out here with a smaller jig. Let's say you're fishing a standard, just a lead jig head, okay? You're not going to catch as many big fish as we're fishing when we bulk up and we go to that fuzzy grub.
Right
That's
on.
just a dynamite bait for these fish.
Right on. I'll get them in the live well here, John.
One thing with crappies, and I don't care if we're talking natural lake crappies or reservoir crappies or no matter where you find them. Here's the one thing that holds true with crappies in general anywhere you go. They're a very curious fish. They'll come up and they'll look at something hanging below a bobber, and all of a sudden one of them will come shooting up and hit it. So what I do is, knowing that, I really spend a lot of time changing cadences on how we jig. There's times I'll drop it down to the bottom, I'll bang it around on the bottom a bit, then I'll bring it up 5 cranks, another 5, but I'll do a lot of different cadence changes. I don't get in that routine of just up, down, up, down, up, down. I might jiggle it a little bit. I've been watching Brent earlier. He'd pop it way up high and let it fall. They're a curious fish, so keep doing different things and eventually you'll find something that'll trip their trigger if they're underneath your boat. There you go.
There we go.
I could see that one happening. What a neat way to fish this is, man. Look at that one.
Another big one.
Wait till you see this one that he's got. Look at this. What a way to finish up a day. Look at that. Man, that's what you can do on reservoirs. You know, whether it's a river system like the Mississippi that's blocked off into pools or something like you see here on the Missouri River, you can do this. This is an opportunity that exists and very few people know about it. It's untapped, and that's why these fish are so big. Next time you're out on one of these reservoirs and you're out there walleye fishing, think about stopping at a bridge piling on the way home, because I'll tell you what, there's some darn good crappies to be had. Good job, buddy.
Thanks.
That's a nice fish.